Welcome to the Faith and Happiness podcast. I am your host, Elle Edwards, founder of the Faith and Happiness Playground, here with Bible-friendly brain gymnastics to help Christians like you embrace your inner weirdo and smile more. Why? So that together we can reclaim what it means to be Christian. And I would, if you haven't checked out the Faith and Happiness Playground, here is my reminder, faithandhappinessplayground.com is the link you need to find out more and join us. In the meantime, though, in today's episode of the podcast, we are talking about why you smiling more isn't just for your benefit. Now, don't get me wrong. I love to smile and I love helping other people smile. It's one of my favorite things to do. Although, yes, I can be grumpy sometimes too. Today, I've got to be quite candid. I'm feeling a little bit sleep deprived. I woke up very, very early. I have promised myself a nap later, but I'm making sure that I go easy on myself. I'm not going to be really strict. It's about going with it with energy, with our energy levels. But I can be grumpy sometimes too, as my husband and children will attest to. But there's a side advantage to you being full to the top with happiness and joy and God's love. And it's what I actually alluded to in the introduction to the podcast. It's about reclaiming Christianity. I'm sure I cannot be the only person. In fact, I know I'm not the only person who is frustrated that if you tell somebody that you're a Christian, they have this look that comes over their face of like, oh. I remember, earlier in the year, I was working on my website in the gym, which might sound like a weird thing to do. Let me explain. I go to lots of classes, kettlebells and body blast and box fit and blah, blah, blah. Lots of high energy, great fun, really, really love it. My son isn't old enough to go to the gym by himself yet. He has to be accompanied by an adult. So having done these classes, I used to go on the treadmill in my kit very slowly and read my Kindle. But I got to the point where I was like, do you know what? My legs are tired. I just want to sit down. And so over time, you get to know people, and there are some very convenient chairs. And so one day I was sitting in one of the very convenient chairs with my computer. There was some bits and pieces I wanted to finish on the website. And so I sat there sort of fiddling with it. And one of the guys who works in the gym, and apologies if you've heard me tell you this story before, but it was ages ago. And so not everybody remembers and not everybody will have heard it. But there's a guy who works in the gym who does some of our classes who I get on quite well with. You know, it probably won't surprise you to learn I chat to lots of people. And so we got to talking, and he happened to glance at my screen and he saw the word faith and Jesus. And he went, oh, is that a website for a client or something? And I said, no, it's my website. And he went, oh. And then we had this great big conversation about faith and Jesus. And I said to him, now you know why when I first met you, you asked me, what do I do? And I told you I write fiction. Because I do write fiction as well. I haven't actually written much fiction this year at the time of recording. I got to be quite honest. But it was easier if I'd told him way back before he got to know me that I was a Christian. I was running this podcast all about, Christian stuff. I suspect, and he didn't say yes, it was true, but I could tell from the wry smile that actually that would have probably been as far as our conversation went. But instead, he'd got to know me and realised that, she's a bit bonkers and she talks a lot, but she's quite nice and tidy. And it's that relationship building piece. And it really frustrates me beyond words that, unfortunately, this label Christian has come to mean so much stuff that isn't about the love of Jesus. And this is where you come in and where I come in. Because a long time ago, much, maybe 6-7 years ago, I was like, I didn't have all the words for it yet, but I didn't have the hashtag this is Christian like I tend to use a little bit now. But back then I was like, we can do a better job of being Christians, and I'm going to love on everybody on God's behalf. And then I had this realization or this reminder from God that actually, Elle, you don't have to do it on your own. You can play with other people. Let other people join in too. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm on this mission to help as many Christians be so full to the top with God's love and smiling every day, and they can be awesome human beings and be a wonderful example of God's love in this world. And that's the side impact, and that's the side benefit, or actually really the bigger world impact of you smiling more. That really is the why behind why I do this. Because yes, I love making you smile. I love putting a smile on your face. I love the fact that, you try this stuff out and it helps lift your day. But there is an ulterior motive. And this won't come as news to you. If you've been listening for a little while, I've shared this before. And it's a generous ulterior motive. It's not like a nasty ulterior motive. When somebody offers to, do something for you, and it's actually just for their personal gain. It's not about that. This is about us coming together and being these wonderful, awesome human beings so that we can just be God's hands and feet in the world. I came across a Bible verse which I'm going to share with you. I think it was last week. This is from Psalm 40, and it's verse 3. It says, he put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in him. There was another verse which I didn't write down, which is of a similar theme. This idea that actually just by being lovely and full to the top with love, God helps us point other people to Jesus. There's lots of examples of that in the Bible. That's the one that I came across. And don't get hung up on that phrase, by the way, fear the Lord. Many will see and fear the Lord. It's not fear as in like, oh my gosh, he's really scary. I mean, God is God who put the stars into space. And yes, he should be awe-inspiring, because I don't know about you, but I don't want a God who's big enough that I totally understand. But he talks about the fact that you are his child and he cares for you and loves you. So don't be put off if that word fear for you was a bit like, I don't know about that one. Remember that verse in 1 John, I think I want to say 3, 1 John something. It says, perfect love drives out fear, and there is no fear in love. So actually, this fear of the Lord, or fear the Lord, is more about awe and respect and wow-ness. Yeah. So you being so full to the top and smiling, and don't get me wrong, you're going to have days that are annoying. We all have moments in days that are annoying, but it's about raising your day-to-day optimism levels, raising your day-to-day positivity levels, so that your default position is that much higher. Because yes, when bad stuff happens, we are momentarily thrown off course. If something, I'd even something really silly and random, like I stubbed my toe. Yes, for a moment, like, that really hurts. I feel sorry for myself in the moment. But we don't sit there, because then you bounce back up again. And there's lots of science around the optimism and the positive psychology stuff that says that the way that you tell the stories that you tell yourself around the things that happen, for example, the way that you tend to by default describe stuff, that has an impact on how quickly you bounce back. And this is some of the stuff that we're going to dig into, and we have dug into before as well. So I love making you smile, but it does have that side impact as well. And it is biblical. Yeah, that's just one verse. I'm gesturing down there because phone. Bible on phone. And for people who are listening to this rather than watching it, you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Elle. I forget sometimes that we send this out in lots of different versions. Apologies to listeners. I'm very sorry, but thank you for sticking with us. But just remember that this isn't just about helping you smile. If ever you're like, I don't know if I should really bother, because I'm okay as I am, it's all right really. If you're not going to do it for you, do it for the other people that you can have such a wonderful impact on. This is like a win-win scenario, and it's really exciting to think that we can help you smile more, and as a result we can help build the kingdom of God and bring more people to know Jesus. That's the really exciting part of this. I would invite you, like I mentioned at the start, if this does excite you, if you want to come and join this movement, be a part of this, faithandhappinessplayground.com is where you want to go. Quite candidly, the price is what it is right now because we're still building out that curriculum. It's going to be priced differently in just a month or so's time. So if you're kind of on the fence and think, oh yeah, and also if you want to get lots of one-on-one attention, because we have weekly group calls, they're currently small. So that's another really wonderful advantage of joining right now. So if you love this stuff and you're excited by it, do go to faithandhappinessplayground.com to find out more and join us. In the meantime, thank you for being here. I shall catch up with you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.